Hi Marietta, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for being here.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. A bit busy, but it's yeah, daily life.
Speaking of daily life, tell us a bit more about your role at Slopelift.
Well, I'm currently in two different roles. I'm head of SEO, which is now GEO as well, and I'm also Chief Knowledge Officer at Slopelift.
What's the role of a chief knowledge
Yeah,
officer and also the head of SEO?
basically my role as a Chief Knowledge Officer, or my responsibility, is that everybody at Slopelift knows something. In their field, of course. So I'm in that sense, I'm responsible for all disciplines. And what I've really focused on in the last year was actually creating like a training program, a training process for the different units we have. Because we have lots of juniors or people who start from scratch, we want to make sure they get the best training and they are trained in a quick way because we need them to be ready for clients very soon. And that's kind of my responsibility now.
Okay, nice. And on the head of SEO side of things?
On the head of SEO side, I have in the SEO team we have two sub teams, and I'm basically above the sub teams and managing the whole strategic perspective where we're going with SEO. So 1 year ago we said, okay, we're going to Geo, and whole transition to that and what that means for us internally. And I'm currently sharing that role with Anya. So we're like a two-headed person managing the whole SEO team because we're quite big and it would be too much for one person.
Walk us through your transition, your story at Slopelift. It's been quite some years.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I started, the whole work environment was pretty different because we were so small. We were like, I think 6 or 7 people all stuck in one of those rooms because the other rooms were rented to other agencies. So it was pretty close and everybody knew what everybody was doing. And there I actually started writing SEO text. So that was my first position, writing text, which was pretty cool because I love texting and that's also a bit of my background. So that was good. And then pretty soon I moved on to the technical SEO part. And in that time, there were lots of relaunches actually. So I think every year there were 3 or 5 relaunches, which was good to learn all the technical stuff.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon when we started growing, it became clear that I wanted to be a team lead, and that's also something that Konstantin enabled. And yeah, from then on it was head of SEO and then chief knowledge officer, which was kind of the next step to, I don't know, be more involved in the company and yeah, have an impact on the whole team and not just the SEO team.
Nice. Cool. Thanks for sharing. As you reflect over that journey, is there anything that maybe surprised you in that journey, or maybe things you would now do differently looking back?
Oh yeah, lots of things. So of course nobody's perfect, and I think there are some situations where I recommended things I wouldn't recommend anymore. But that's I think that's part of the learning process, and I think the work has fundamentally changed. So that's in one part due to our size because we're a bigger team now, but also in the last year with AI, yeah, it's just very different from what we started with. Yeah.
So let's dive into that topic. You mentioned about a year ago, you said, well, SEO is changing, we're going towards GEO, AI search, it's becoming a reality. Was there a trigger moment for you? Was there a realization that triggered that thought?
Yeah, actually, yes, but for me, it only started this year. So last year we were starting to monitor AI overviews and started tracking prompts and so on. But I never really had the feeling that I'm as a user in the AI universe. But I think only actually this year I started noticing that I'm as a consumer prompting and not searching. And that for me was the biggest realization actually, or the moment where I said, okay, no, I'm there.
How are your clients thinking about this? Like, how was that a thing last year for them? What's the conversation right now like when you speak with clients about SEO and
Yeah.
GEO?
I think they're still trying to figure out what impact AI search has on their users, on their traffic, and they're monitoring that, which is good. But I think the initial panic that started last year has kind of subsided a little bit, so they're not as panicky anymore, which is also good because it's, in my opinion, not necessary.
Yeah.
And so it's a bit more relaxed, I'd say. But also the awareness has increased. So definitely every client now knows what GEO is, and a year ago that wasn't the case. So yeah.
What drove that panic last year? Was it a decline in traffic? Was it the whole AI overview introduction?
Yeah, I think it was just the media and everybody talking about it like crazy, and before clients even measured the impact, and then they saw, okay, actually we didn't lose any clicks. Yeah, but we don't have publishers, so I know that publishers really struggled, but e-commerce shops were, not that affected in the beginning. So yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that panic has gone away in some way, and people, businesses have maybe a more pragmatic approach now. How do they look at measurement of success right now? Walk us through that. Is it still traffic led? Is it still this typical website funnel? How do your SEO GEO clients measure success right now?
I think they still use the classic KPIs, but are adding new KPIs. So we're trying to recommend also looking at other KPIs, because just from the SEO perspective, we don't think it makes sense to look at ranking positions because they're so volatile, and so we are also trying to steer them away from that a little bit. But in the end, for every business that has sales, of course, sales and conversions do still count, and other KPIs or other metrics like AI overview, citations, or whatever that are triggered in informational queries are interesting for them, but they don't drive the sales. So it's a mix definitely at the moment. Yeah.
What would you say are both SEO and like organic Google as well as AI search? What are the top KPIs in that sense for your clients that you want them to be aware of?
So definitely AI referral traffic, because it puts it into perspective a little bit. We're also starting to measure AI referral traffic engagement rates and conversion rates, which is interesting for those clients who can measure it. So that's nice to see. But of course, the whole prompt mentions and citations are interesting. I'm still not sure what we're going to do with the data, but it's kind of nice to gather it, and then the goal would be, of course, to combine all the data and come up with a comprehensive analysis.
Let's talk about the team setup and how you work with clients on the SEO side. You have amazing brands as clients, and you have quite a big SEO team, I would say. What can you tell us? How's your SEO team structured? What are some typical SEO engagements with your clients?
So we do have defined key account people. So we try to establish long-term relationships. So ideally, the person starting out as a key account will remain the key account for the whole duration of the contract, because we still think that the personal aspect of the whole client work is the most important one, and that's what we're trying to build. And actually, in the SEO team, everybody is equally content fit as technically fit. So I'd say everybody gets the same education. But of course, then if somebody says, "Oh, I really love writing text," then we will give the person the chance to do that. And if somebody says, "I don't like writing text," then we won't force them to. So we're actually quite open to the individuals and what they want to do, and trying to make it possible for them.
Yeah. When a new client, let's say, comes to you right now in 2026 and is asking you for best practices or what's the best practice in SEO right now? What should we do? What are maybe the first questions that you would ask them, or the first things you would lay out in an SEO strategy in order to build out a best practice?
Well, I'd probably ask them if they are measuring their AI traffic in any way.
Yeah.
So if they know where to stand, because that's for us, that's the most important starting point to find out what kind of role AI channels play for their users, because it's so different for the different target groups, and I think that's where everybody should start.
What is maybe the biggest challenge right now for most brands? Is it tech? Is it tech related? Is it content related?
So I think it's very different from client to client, but I think lots of clients are still in the whole tech universe are very limited in what they can do on their websites, because they have their big shops running and they cannot interfere with lots of the processes. So there are still lots of technical limitations, basically. And that's a challenge for sure, because it limits what we can do there. And then we have to shift to the content. And usually on the on-page side, we're quite free to do or to optimize. And that's good. I think the clients can really use that as leverage. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You mentioned it clicked for you this year when you realized that you as a user are using AI so much. Was there one thing as you started as an agency investing more time and resources into GEO AI search last year where you changed your mind on? Like, did you had a belief last year where you're like this year, no, I'm looking at this differently. I have a different belief now.
I don't think so. I think last year I was really careful, or generally like, monitoring what's happening and not trying to rush into things. So for example, last year we saw that lots of the citations on ChatGPT were affiliates, and we did not recommend to our clients buy tons of affiliate links. We said, okay, if you have those corporations, see where you're at, see if they're what the contract's like, and so on.
Okay.
And I think this has paid off, because it's the AI visibility has improved without buying tons of affiliate links. So yeah, I think it was definitely worth starting the monitoring early on, and then seeing where this leads. Yeah.
Looking ahead, what does the future of search bring for you, for Slopelift? What gets you excited as you look ahead?
Excited or panicked?
Up to you.
Yeah, well, I think what will be a major change is if Google comes to Europe with everything they announced at the I/O. If search really changes like this, that will be a huge impact for us. But as we know, we don't always get to see those changes here so soon. So let's see what happens there. And I think what will be most interesting for me, because I think Flo mentioned it earlier, we employ lots of younger colleagues who already grew up with technologies that we didn't have growing up, and the way they search and the way they use the internet is so much different. And I'm really excited to see how that evolves, and how the next generation is going to use, who grow up with agents, are going to use the internet, because that's going to shape how it evolves.
Yeah.
Ultimately. And yeah, that's, for me, that's the most exciting part. Yeah.
Cool. I'm wondering myself, what would you recommend someone maybe coming from university, starting out in SEO right now? Where to double down on, where to focus? What do you tell your maybe new colleagues, new joiners joining you on the SEO side? Where should they become a subject matter expert?
I think the most important quality a key account at the moment can have is thorough consulting and data analysis. So I think that's where I would start. I mean, of course, all the on-page skills and technical skills should be there, but in the end, you don't need to know how to write structured data anymore, because every AI can do that. But to understand the client's business model, to understand what their target group is, and to get a feeling what AI search means to them, that's a very hard quality to learn. I think that's something that we should build up on, because that's the human on the loop that we all try to have.
Okay, nice. What's the thing you're most proud of working at Slopelift?
The team, definitely, the team we've built up. So together with Anya, we have really, I hope that we have built a functioning team. I do believe so. And we're quite proud of that. We've established lots of processes that we didn't have. We had the freedom to do, to create something. And that was also, I think, quite helpful because we were just able to, try out that setup. And if it didn't work, we tried something else. And yeah, and I think when I see a person at a client meeting and I see them explaining something to the client, it makes me really proud. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Then very, very last question. What is the prompt, the thing you built with Claude that you're most proud of, the agent use case that you're most proud of?
I think it's a few similar use cases. I'm not sure if I'm proud of because lots of people have probably done that already, but it was my realization. So it was the first time I actually combined different data sets from different tools and had them analyzed, and then really got a very comprehensive analysis that would have taken hours to do manually. And that for me was the thing where I thought, okay, wow, if all of our people, all of the team can use it like that, we're going to be so much faster and so much more efficient. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.